Hello everyone. So I didn't get a chance in class to cover Handout 1D. So I want to talk a little bit about this handout because it involves homeostasis and how homeostasis is controlled by the body. Now, I mentioned to you that hormones play an important role in maintaining homeostasis, and I gave you some examples of negative and positive feedback systems. Well, if you remember, hormones aren't the only thing that are going to be causing positive and negative feedback systems. Another system of our body, the nervous system, also is responsible. It sends signals to and from our body and brain to control homeostasis. So let's look at handout 1D and we will go over how homeostasis is controlled. So here is handout 1D, and it says the control of homeostasis, it's regulated by two systems of the body, the nervous system and our endocrine system with the hormones. It says they can work together or they can work independently of one another. So for our examples of like anti-diuretic hormone and oxytocin, we've got our two systems working together. For example, with childbirth, the oxytocin is part of our endocrine system. It's a hormone that's being released. But remember, the cervix is sending information back to the brain. It's doing that via the nervous system. Now, in this black box, I just have some more examples of homeostasis that we mentioned in class. Let's look at these two systems a little bit closer. So I'm going to scooch this up, and the nervous system and the endocrine system are going to control homeostasis in different ways. So, for example, the nervous system detects changes in our body and sends nerve impulses to counteract the disruption. So, it's nerve signals. It's the cervix sending a signal to the brain. It is the kidney recognizing that we're dehydrated and sending a nervous signal up to the brain. In contrast to that, hormones, the endocrine system, are going to release those hormones to counteract any of the disruption. So it's a little bit different. Let me zoom out here just a little bit. It's a little bit different for the two systems. Now, when we look at maintaining homeostasis, the nervous system is going to respond very quickly. Things like reflexes. When you have a reflex, you touch something too hot and you pull your fingers away from whatever is really hot. That's a reflex. Those are your nerve endings sending signals to your brain or your spinal cord really quickly to get you out of that harmful situation. That's still maintaining homeostasis. We don't want to injure ourselves because that leads us out of homeostasis. So the nervous system is going to respond really quickly. Those signals from the cervix going up to the brain during childbirth happens very fast. In contrast to that, the hormones are going to act much slower. So we have to produce the hormone, we have to create it in the glands, like the pituitary gland. Then we have to release it, and it has to travel through the bloodstream before it can have an effect. So, for example, with our oxytocin, the brain produces the oxytocin. It's released by our pituitary gland. It has to flow all the way down through the bloodstream to the uterus to tell the uterus to contract. So hormones work much slower. Now, these work together and independently, right? So we can send signals fast and we can send hormones slow. So I have an example of how this works. The nervous system, for example, can send a reflex to our heart to speed it up. So, like when you start jogging, we're going to need more blood flow to our body, to our muscles, to allow us to run. And our nervous system is going to send those signals quickly. We also can release a hormone called epinephrine. You probably know epinephrine better as adrenaline. But adrenaline, or epinephrine, is also going to be released by your adrenal glands, and that's going to travel through your bloodstream slower, but then it's going to also tell the heart to speed up. So we have two things keeping us in homeostasis with the heart. We can speed up our heart with the nervous system, and we can speed up the heart with hormones like epinephrine. Both of these are working together, but the nervous system works really fast. The hormones work much slower. And don't forget that the hormones are going to be controlled primarily by the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is that center of homeostasis. So the hypothalamus is receiving both nerve signals, and those nerve signals are going to signal the production and release of hormones. So when we look at hormone regulation, we want to make sure that we understand that both of these systems, the nervous system and the endocrine system, are controlling homeostasis. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that to you because we didn't have a chance in class. So make sure that you fill this handout out, and then you work on handout E and F online, and I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. Thanks a lot.